goal for you by the end of this presentation is that you understand how Pinterest works, how to get more eyes on your TPT products, your website, blog, or other forms of content, and how to ultimately change the trajectory of your business with Pinterest. So you probably have some questions like, where do I begin? How do I optimize with SEO? What is a board? And how can I showcase my business on Pinterest? And we're going to cover all of that tonight. I am a former teacher, and I am currently a wife to a university head coach basketball. We just ended the season, so we are now living out of season right now. I'm a mother of two very busy boys. I'm a former 6th grade teacher and a small business owner of a store called Teacher Noire. So I used to work for a company called Twinkle. You might be familiar with them. And I ran their Pinterest. And in 4 months, Pinterest alone contributed to 77,000 new membership accounts. And I thought, wow, if they're getting 77,000 new memberships from basically my work that I'm doing for them of doing Pinterest, how can I apply what I've learned working for them to my own business? And so I started applying these things to my own business, and I took what I learned and I started to see the increase. This year, being intentional Pinterest, I finally hit 1 million monthly views, because for me, one of my really popular time periods is during Black History Month and Women's History. So I started pinning back in November for those topics, and I hit 1 million monthly views, and it helps to get those monthly views because you also get the revenue from it, and it's just another source of income for you, and you pin and mind your business. You don't have to do anything else, like you have to constantly show up. So imagine if you and your business were hitting these types of numbers and more. And I just want you to know that it's possible with the help of Pinterest. Yeah. So when I was learning all this, I said, okay, I don't know if you guys are big on journalers, but I'm a big journaler. So I write things down. And one of my big things was to run a Pinterest account for other teacher influencers and to create a Pinterest course. I did create a Pinterest course last year, but I'm getting ready to close it this year because I want to focus on creating resources versus sharing about the Pinterest aspect of it. Even though I'm still here tonight to share about it, I'm still knowledgeable about it. And so first of all, what is Pinterest? Pinterest is a search engine. People think that it's a social media platform, but it's a search engine. So many teachers are going to Pinterest and they're looking for ideas for their classroom. And again, social media focused on keeping people on that platform, while Pinterest is a search engine and it's getting people off of its platform to go where they need to go. And I want you to just take a look at the lifespan of content. So from Twitter or X, 20 minutes. You tweet, you thread, it lasts about 20 minutes. Versus Pinterest, it can last from 4 months to years. I've heard of people who are still getting lots of money and revenue from pins that they posted years ago. And I know some of my most popular pins I pinned about 2 years ago. And I just want to reiterate to look at how long the lifespan of a Pinterest pin is compared to our typical social media platforms. So what are people searching for on Pinterest? They're looking for 6 things. They're looking for inspiration. They're looking to plan for different things. So whether they have a wedding coming up, a baby shower, they're looking for Greek gods. They are looking to plan, and they typically start on Pinterest. They're also going on there to learn and ultimately purchase, brand discovery, and trend spotting. So where does your teacher business come in with this? Again, we're planning. Teachers are there to learn, and they're ultimately there to purchase. So here are just some stats about Pinterest. So Pinterest has about 2 billion monthly views or searches, excuse me. And sorry, this is in my way. You move it. And about 1.5 billion pins are saved every week. 80% are women. 498 million are are actively on that platform. The average income, obviously not a teacher, but the average income is about $100,000, and 90% of purchases they're coming with a mindset to purchase. And so 8 out of 10 believe that Pinterest is a positive space. We can't say that for all other platforms when we go on them, that it's a positive space, but people generally will come on Pinterest with a positive mindset. So what does this mean for you and your business? And I think it's safe to say that thousands of people are looking for the products that you have. I know one mentioned that people are probably not looking for the resources that she's creating. I think you said 1 in a million, but that 1 in a million person is probably on Pinterest searching for it. So tonight we're going to look at the ABCs of Pinterest. We're going to talk about your accounts, your boards, and creating content. So the first step in your account is you want to make sure that you have a business account. Now, you want a business account and not a regular account because the business is going to show you the analytics that you want. So you'll be able to also run ads. You'll see the analytics, and then you can also do what we call create rich pins, and you can promote your pins. You can't do that with a regular account. So make sure that it's a business account. And the first introduction people will have to you outside of your actual pins is when they click on a pin and they might come to your profile. And so I know a lot of people have said, oh, well, I don't have a lot of followers on Pinterest. Well, I hit 1 million monthly views with less than 600 followers on my Pinterest. Now, this one I do specifically just for my business, and your follower count does not weigh anything really. And so let me go back to your account, because one thing that you also want to make sure that you do for your account is here in this description area, you want to use keywords that your resources cover. So I also sell physical products. So I would include that I have teacher t-shirts and teacher resources, all those different things. I think I've updated this bio even since this picture. The next place are your boards. Your boards is where you are going to be storing or pinning your content. People can search by both your pins and your boards. So it's important that you name your boards things that people are going to actually search. For instance, someone is not going to search yellow rock. Well, maybe they might, but like razzle dazzle yellow rocks. They're not searching razzle dazzles in the search bar. So if your board is about 6th grade math, the title of it needs to be 6th grade math. We'll talk about that more. So for instance, if my main topic is 6th grade, you can have subtopics or sub boards called 6th grade math, 6th grade science, 6th grade social studies. Then you might want to create a board that's even more specific, such as 6th grade math games, 6th grade math projects. You want to get pretty specific with your boards because people are going to be on Pinterest searching for various things. So here is just some people I put in 6th grade and different things that came up. So here you see 6th grade math. We have some 6th grade social studies, 6th grade math again. So a lot of my examples will be 6th grade because that's what I taught a bulk of my career was 6th grade. And so again, notice the boards aren't just 6th grade. Some are more specific, such as 6th grade math, music, social studies. And so there's a cycle of pinning. You're going to create your content. You're going to create your pin. You're going to link that pin to the content. And then that is just the Pinterest cycle. And so creating content, I think this is where a lot of people get a little bit overwhelmed. And in order for you to create a pin for Pinterest, you need to create a piece of content. I know someone was saying they were writing a paper, and so they might turn that paper into a blog post. Well, how are you getting people to see that blog post? How are you getting traffic to that blog post? You can use your Pinterest pins to go to those specific places. So they can go to your blog post, they can go to your podcast, your YouTube, or whatever website that you have. You can, for me, I link my Etsy, my website, and my TPT. You can also send them to, if you have a lead magnet or a landing page, You can send them to your social media. And again, if you also are into like affiliate marketing, you can create a pin for that affiliate link and use a pin. Create a pin. So the standard size for a Pinterest pin is 1000 by 1500 pixels. And this will become your pin that you will create. I create all my pins in Canva. It's the easiest place for me to just drag and drop designs. You can also buy templates. I often tell people buy templates because that's going to help you get started for starting from scratch every time. And Canva is very beginner friendly, no graphic design skills required. And so these are just some of my pins that I've created for different various things. You can use the same pictures, but I always say to kind of change up the text, the overlays, different things. You want your pin to be engaging. What is going to make someone who's scrolling on Pinterest stop on your pin and click on it and find out more about that image? So here are some more examples. Back to school, all of them. You see this one over here. This is just a picture with my logo. I often say to make sure that you have your website or where they can find you at, because they might want to find out more information about you. Again, these are just some examples. I say to use one product and create multiple pins for that product. So if you've taken a picture of it, how many different ways can you use that pin? Have you created a blog post about that resource? That blog post can also go link to your pin. And you can create, I encourage you, it is so much easier to create 10 pins for one product versus 10 pins for 10 or 10 products for 10 different pins. And so you also might want to use what we call user-generated content. And user-generated content is when someone, for instance, on Instagram, they might tag you in their resource because they purchased it and they're using it in their classroom. And so they tag you and you might say, hey, thank you so much for tagging me in that story. Do you mind sending me the pictures or videos that you sent? I then will turn around and reuse those pictures and images for content. I will create it for pins. I will put it on my website so that people can see it in action. Even for your previews on TPT, you can use those images and put them in, I always say, product in action for your resources. Again, these are pictures that people have sent me in my t-shirt, by Black History t-shirt. This is me taking pictures for a product. Her student colored this one. So if they send you pictures, use those pictures in your content, because teachers, they want to see, what does this product look like in action? So for example, if I just created this solar system craftivity. So if you have this craftivity and you have someone who was coloring it or you coloring it, do some B-roll and share those videos on Pinterest. The same kind of content that you're sharing on Instagram, you can share on Pinterest as well. You're not gonna be able to use the music. You might have to use their own music because that's often copyrighted. But I say work harder, or work smarter, not harder. Again, more user-generated content. I'm telling you, if someone tags me in something, I am in their DMs begging them for those pictures that they just tagged me in. So some content ideas. So create content about what you sell versus just showing a picture of your product. Why should they get that product? 3 reasons why you need to learn about the moon might be a pin that I create. Why does the moon have craters? Could be a headline because you want to spark interest for everyone. Then you also want to show people how to use your resource, how your resource solves a problem for them, and always use descriptive words, aka keywords. Use keywords in your title, in your description, if it's in your URL. All of those are searchable terms that people are going to find your pin under. And so again, would you rather create 10 new pieces of content each week or create 10 new pins for one product or one piece of content? And then the content you're already creating can provide weeks worth of pins. And I know right now you might be saying like, man, that's a lot. I don't know if I have enough content for that. I'm telling you, you probably do. And so again, there are 3 P's of Pinterest. There is the pinning, there is the patience, because I like to tell people Pinterest is a long game, but a good game. And I think a lot of people give up on Pinterest because they don't see that instantaneous feedback. For instance, if you post on Instagram, you're gonna get your likes right away. Whether it's 10 likes or 1,000 likes, you get kind of that instant gratification. Versus you're not always going to see that with Pinterest right away. And then ultimately, you're going to get the profit from Pinterest.